이 세상을 묵묵히 열심히 살아가는 당신을 꼭 한번 만나고 싶었습니다. 당신의 삶의 이야기를 들려주세요. 희망과 위로와 공감이 함께하는 우리 이웃들의 사람 냄새 나는 이야기. 지금 시작합니다. 시청자 여러분 안녕하십니까. 유정님의 이슈앤피플 오늘 오랜만에 여러분들에게 인사드립니다. 시카고 지역에 최초의 카지노 사업이 들어설 예정인 가운데 거대 시카고 카지노 리조트 사업권을 획득한 기업이 한인 기업가의 사업체로 알려지면서 화제가 되고 있습니다. 그 주인공은요 바로 벨리스 기업의 김수형 회장인데요. 오늘 유정님의 이슈앤피플에서 만나볼 주인공 김수형 회장은요. 뉴욕 맨해튼의 스타이브슨 고등학교를 졸업하고 프린스턴대학에서 공공정책을 전공한 한인 1.5세 헤지펀드 투자자로 잘 알려져 있습니다. 2007년 헤지펀드 운용사 스탠더드 제너럴'을 설립한 김수형 회장은요. 2022년 뉴저지주 애틀랜틱시티의 발리스 호텔 앤 카지노를 인수하고 같은 해 10월 발리스 브랜드까지 사들이면서 업계의 관심을 모은 바 있습니다. 오늘 유정님의 이슈앤피플에서는요 바로 오늘의 주인공 김수형 회장을 어렵게 만나서 인터뷰했습니다. 인터뷰 영상 함께 보시죠. Hello, Mr. Kim. Very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
Please introduce yourself to the Korean community in the U.S.
Sure. My name is Soo Kim, and I am the chairman of Bally's Corporation, as well as the CIO of a investment management firm called Standard General, based here in New York. I've been involved in Bally's for over 10 years. As its largest investor, I've been on the board since 2016, and I've been the chairman of the board since 2019. And under our involvement, Bally's has gone from a single casino based in Rhode Island to now 17 casinos, as well as a large online gaming operation based in London. And so, we are one of the fastest growing gaming companies in the country, and continue to be quite involved in the company. Away from the company, I run an investment firm called Standard General, and we do a lot of opportunistic and stressed and troubled company investing. And that's how I came to invest in Bally's and its predecessor in the first place, because it had gone through some financial difficulties over 10 years ago, and have helped it come back on its feet and turn itself around. And now it's one of the stronger companies in gaming.
Wow.
And then for the Korean American community, I was born in Seoul, and I immigrated to New York when I was 5. And I grew up in Queens, very, not atypical, first generation American experience. And my first language is Korean, but again, I speak Korean like a 5-year-old, So, but yeah, no, I'm quite proud of my Korean American heritage, and it's nice to meet your viewers.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. And, this is a really good story. I heard the amazing news story about Korean businessmen who opened the first casino in Chicago, a city that had banned casinos, but decided to allow them. So many Koreans are wondering who the man is, so now we have you, and it is time to share your awesome story with us. So please tell us about this story in more detail.
Sure. So when we saw the news that the law had changed, the state of Illinois and the city of Chicago working together had legalized casinos in the city, we thought that was a great opportunity. To more specifically, our company Bally's operates regional casinos. So casinos that are in specific cities like Rhode Island, Biloxi, and draw from its local community versus, let's say, a Vegas casino or an Atlantic City casino that typically draws from a much larger area. They're called destination casinos. So Chicago actually has the potential to be the most important regional casino. Although it will, because there's so many tourists in Chicago, it will have some destination elements as well. But we have a lot of comfort operating in what would otherwise be considered very difficult jurisdictions. So quite often, regional casinos operate in very high gaming tax jurisdictions. Chicago, so we operate in the highest gaming tax jurisdiction, which is Rhode Island. Chicago, the city of Chicago will be in the high 30s, almost 40, which is high, but not quite as high as what we operate in. So we have confidence in operating in high tax jurisdictions that, frankly, gives us an advantage versus some of the larger, more well-known household gaming names that only operate in Las Vegas, which is the lowest tax jurisdiction. Oh, yeah. So I think that when we saw the news that Chicago was opening, with the tax rate that it was targeting, we felt that we actually, even though we're a smaller company than some of the larger, more well-known names, we had an advantage because we understood how to operate in that environment. Then the other thing we did was I think we were able to acquire a site, the Tribune Publishing Plant, which is just almost ideally located, really close enough to the tourism core of Chicago, the North Loop, and River North, but still located on the major traffic arteries so that you can get there from the west or the north or the south, that you could it's really very centrally located. Remember, the plant was a newspaper plant, and it was built so that it could ship newspapers every morning, across the whole city. So we'll be reversing the function by welcoming people from the entire city to our casino. So I think we had the advantage of operating in very difficult, having a management team that could operate in very difficult tax environments, as well as having an amazing site. And the rest was just hard work. I mean, look, sometimes when you have no advantage, we were not, we don't have a famous reputation. We weren't the most important business people in Chicago. Then you have to work harder, and luckily, not being from America originally, and and having immigrated here, I think that experience of coming from the outside and working hard to fit in and make it was something that our company was able to do in Chicago, and we worked harder than a lot of the other more well-known bidders. I think we had good experience, and we had a great location, but we also worked harder building ties to local communities, labor organizations, all the groups that really matter in terms of getting popular support in Chicago. And so look, I think it's hard work, and I think it's I think it's a commitment to surmount challenges that then once you've done that a bunch of time, it becomes your strength. And so I think that we won on merit, and we're very proud to have been selected, and we cannot wait to fulfill those promises to the city, the entire state, and all the communities that are involved in supporting a great project.
Okay, sounds good. Do your companies more future plans in Chicago?
Yeah, actually. There's we've now continued to build more and better, stronger relationships across the city, and look, I spend a lot of time obviously in gaming, but I also spend a lot of time in the media side. And I think there are tons of opportunities. Illinois is a great state to do business in. And Chicago is a great city. So no, I think we have stay tuned. Nothing to announce yet, but both on the media side and potentially on gaming opportunities, there's more to do in Illinois and Chicago specifically. So for absolutely.
Yeah, okay. And you are the chairman of Bally's company, and I think you look very young. So I'm curious about your personal story, how you become a chairman of a Bally's, a huge company in US.
Well, yeah, I mean, it helps that you're the largest shareholder and then you help build the company. So we've been involved in the company for over 10 years. And when we
Oh,
founded, it was just a single casino in Rhode
uh-huh.
Island that had gone through a very difficult financial restructuring. And so we positioned ourselves in an ownership position, and then slowly but surely continued to involve ourselves in management to the point where, as chairman, sort of lead the board of directors, which oversights the entire management team in terms of and helps set the direction, so strategic direction of the company. Yeah, I mean, again, I've been in the turnaround investing business for 25 plus years, and look, we take great pride in both, knowing what to invest in, um, finding opportunities that we think are underpriced, but also. Investing in a manner that helps improve the outcomes for all.
Mm,
Obviously, for our investors, we want to get great financial outcomes, and so that there's direct alignment for that. But we also believe that companies don't operate in vacuums, and
mm,
companies have to be cognizant of the communities that they operate in. We all work in partnership with each other. No company is an island, no person is an island. And so we spend a lot of time making sure that our company reflects our values and that we believe that we can, operate in a way that is profitable, but we can also do it in a way that's right. Um, right for our customers, our team members, our associates, our management teams, our ownership. All that is create a sense of alignment across the community that hosts us. Yeah, this is something that's very strong in our general thinking. We at Standard General, have a philosophy that look, we can do well, but we can also do good, and we can do good and do well, and they're not they're interchangeable. Because really winning, if you think about winning for the long term, is winning in a sustainable way, where it's not just for yourself, but
mhm,
everyone. And so, yeah, that's the way we hope to set the not only the strategic direction, but really the moral direction of the company. Um,
mhm,
and I think that shows in the way that we've conducted ourselves.
yeah. And I'm curious about your background because there are tons of business, industry, but why you chose casino resort?
Sure. So interesting enough, casinos, for as good a business that they actually are, they get in trouble all the time financially, basically because, management teams have make, bad decisions really on, maybe spend too much money or borrow too much money or, just make bad decisions in terms of capital allocations. We pride ourselves in making good decisions around capital. Um, and gaming has been a good space for us because even though historically people can make bad decisions, you can change those decisions and the business is actually still good, you know? Um, because the gaming is really ultimately a casino is nothing more than the license and the public-private partnership that you have with your host community. Um, you can change everything about it, about the way you do business, actually the facility itself. You come in and make reinvestment, change direction in terms of how you position yourself. So it's been a great business that holds value through bad decisions that other people have made and give you an opportunity to change those into better decisions and then capture the value. Sometimes if you make enough bad decisions in a business, you can't bring it back, but gaming is not that. Gaming is one that is resilient. The asset value of gaming, which is really the license, is resilient to what came before, and that makes it an ideal business to help us turn around.
I see. And this interviews goes to the Korean community. After a lot of Korean older generations watching our interview show, they might think about the casino. They have a stereotype, the older generations has casino is like addictive gaming.
Right.
Know?
Right. Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah. I would just say that. Well, first of all, obviously, it's very important to gamble responsibly. But in reality, it's part of our nature to want to gamble and to take risk, and that's what's so great about humanity. We are, it's part of our nature to try to do more, and not necessarily be comfortable, and it's just part of our nature. So because it speaks to our nature. Gambling is a form of entertainment that speaks to our nature. You have to be careful with it. So you have to control it, you have to tax it, and you have to bring it to the surface. So the problem, if you say, "Oh, I don't like gambling," well, it's going to happen. It's going to happen because it's part of our human nature. And don't let it happen in the dark. Don't let it happen underground. Bring it to the surface, regulate it, put a lot of light and regulations around it, and tax it so that the benefits of gambling also is shared with the people. Most of the money that's going to be generated in terms of gaming revenues from our casino in Chicago is going to go right to the pensions of the public safety, the firemen, the people that have helped keep Chicago the great city that it is. And I think that's great that, by our operating, we can help the city keep its promises to the people that has helped safeguard the safety of its citizens. So it is, again, it's a partnership all the way around. Gaming needs to be regulated. It needs to be in the hands of responsible operators that understand that it's a real privilege, and that done wrong, you can take advantage of people. But that's why it's so important to do it right so that people can have fun without going overboard. So I think there is negative potential with gaming, but that's actually why you have to bring it to the surface, regulate it, and license it to the right people.
Cool. Right. What other business you were involved in beside the casino business?
Oh, we do all sorts of businesses. We've done consumer products, retail. We do a lot of media, and we've done some sports media specifically. It's just, we're opportunistic investors. We look at troubled companies, but really the singular thing is we look for businesses where we think it's possible to fix. So it's a journey to try to actually fix the company.
You know the Ghost of Korean traditional gambling game?
Of course, yes.
You know the Ghost of? Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So that means actually Korean loves gambling,
Every culture does. Every culture does. It's just part of whether it's bingo, it's lottery, it's Koreans have of course it's, again, games of chance and risk taking is part of human nature.
Yeah.
So
that's right.
So again, all things that speak to that human nature, I think, needs to be controlled and taxed and regulated closely.
It's true. Yeah. And that one is not my question. My company friends questions about your positions. how, what process you went through to get to your current positions. Can you tell us?
Sure. I mean, I came out of college and I started on Wall Street at a firm called Bankers Trust, and I started in this similar business, actually looking at credit, and then soon distressed credit. Yeah, I mean, look, I spent a lot of time. I didn't know what, I just wanted to start working, coming out of college and make a living for myself and my family. It wasn't like I aspired to run an investment fund per se, or even get into the gaming business. It was just for me. It was just trying to, survive, in America, and Wall Street seemed like a pretty good way to do it. Look, I think it's very simple to be in the business that I'm in. You have to be able to make money for people. So I'm in the business of, finding opportunities that we can invest in with my money and my other investors' money, and that investment has to work out. And the only people that are on the business are people that have historically been good at, at raising money, putting that money to work, and having good outcomes. So really, that's, I've been doing this for 25 plus years, and for the first 9 years, I've done it for other people, where I was working for investment firms and helping them make money for our clients, and then after I made enough of a reputation for myself that I was good at what I did, and then I left and took a little time off and started my own firm to do more, because basically, on the track record of that I had succeeded in the past.
So yeah, the plus, okay, here's the two ways. As you are a successful person in the US, can you give advice between go to a major company and open up their own business? Which way can you recommend?
I actually, I worked for other people for 9 years, and I don't regret it. I think when you work for other people, there's somewhat of an injustice in a way, right? Because many times you have to add more value than you're compensated. That's actually the more sustainable. Because obviously, if you're working for something or someone or some other business, and you're getting paid more than you're adding value, eventually you're going to lose your job, right? So, I think that there's this, there's a certain there's that, where when you work somewhere, you want to try to make sure that you're always adding more value than you're getting paid, there's some part of that is, it feels like it's somewhat unfair, but it's not, because actually what they're doing is then they're paying you to learn the business,
Mm-hmm.
and you will hit a point in time when you know that whether you work for this company or not, you know how to make money, you know how to find opportunities, and that's when I think you can go on your own. You can go on your own when you have enough of a reputation, when you have enough skill, and you've succeeded. I realized that there is there's some kind of appeal to be entrepreneurial right away. But look, I worked for larger companies for in entrepreneurial roles, but for almost 9 years before I went on my own, and I don't regret that. I think I don't know if I would have been successful at doing this on my own right out of school without any real true experience.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would have been hard to make a living. And yet I also didn't stay too long. Look, I think it's nice. I think, all Korean American immigrants have been willing to leave behind what was and that was comfort and stability in a way, to go to 미국, and find something new, and
Right.
or wherever, and where maybe they used to go to Germany, right, and went and I think that act itself is an act of risk taking. It's a gamble. You're gambling on yourself that
Right.
the outcome will be better. And I think that journey is a good one, because I think whatever you go through will ultimately, it makes you stronger, it makes you more capable, it makes you more confident, and so I think the Korean American journey, as an immigrant, somewhere between, we're not fully Korean, we're not fully American, we're somewhere hyphenated in between. I think that does not make anything easy, but if you embrace the difficulty of it and then you surmount the difficulty, like all these things, like working out, you don't get strong by lifting little weight. You only get strong by lifting big weight, and so, I would say, my message to fellow Korean Americans is, I know that it's a little harder here than it would be in Korea in some ways, or if we were just American without a hyphen. But the act of getting through it is actually what makes you stronger,
Oh, yeah. Awesome. Oh, yeah, this is two broad questions, but I want to know, what is your life philosophy?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think that I've been, wonderfully blessed with, lots of, great things that have happened to me, and also lots of horrible things that have happened to me. And whether it's business failures, personal failures, challenges, I think all of it is part of the journey. All of it is part of the journey. And so my philosophy is that 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 good or bad, it's the journey that actually is the point. There's no end goal. We're only here for a very short amount of time, and it doesn't matter whether you win or you lose. It's no such thing. It's a false dichotomy. The only thing that matters is how you live every day and how you play this game. And so, play it in a manner that you can feel proud of yourself, and that's it,
Yeah, that's a really great word to the Korean community. So after these interviews, a lot of, I think a lot of young Korean Americans will get more power from this interview, I hope.
I hope so, yes.
Yeah.
I wish them all the best. I wish them all the best.
Yeah. So, okay, lastly, thanks for joining us, and please tell to the Korean community, lastly, whatever your message.
Sure. Look, I think I continue to. I don't feel. I'm not so young anymore, but I don't feel. I feel that I don't know why I've been given this interesting mix of experiences and talents, but I hope to continue to explore and live every day to see what is at the end. I hope to continue to accomplish more and see where it takes me, and hopefully, look, I understand the responsibility of being a Korean American. Again, it's not fully Korean, it's not fully American, and I feel a sense of solidarity with all of us. I would just say that hopefully, I will continue to sit here and watch other fellow Korean Americans continue to make the most of their American lives, and hopefully I'll be able to do the same. So
Cool. Thank you. Lastly, any word Korean in Korean, 안녕히 계세요, something like that. 만나서 반가웠습니다.
I think the best thing for you to do is you should actually you're welcome to edit and cut and paste all the stuff I said before,
Yeah.
So, I'm not it's hard for me. It's easier now that I'm in my English speaking mode. It's hard for me to switch back to Korean. But if you but yeah, no, it's I appreciate the fact that this a media company exists, and good luck to you as well.
Oh, thank you so much. Thanks for joining us again. Yeah.
Thank you.
Good luck to
Okay.
your life too.